Have you been trying to get pregnant and it just ain't working? And you've been trying and trying and going back to the doctor and taking these medicines and taking these injections and nothing is working? Well, trust me, I've been there. If you want to hear my story and how I survived, then just keep watching. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I'm going to be doing my infertility story today. I'm going to do my best to keep this under 15 minutes because I have to do another video after this. So let's just get into it. I'm going to start with my backstory. When I was 11, I started my period. Um, my period was from the beginning irregular. It would come, it would go, it would stay away for months. And they thought, oh, she's a girl. You know how they say your period has to stabilize and all the other stuff. So my mom just took it as my period needed to stabilize and things like that. Well, when I got about 15, my period was still irregular. It would leave for months. I'm talking 6 months. It would go away. I would be having maybe one period a year. We went to the doctor. They was like, that's just your body. They put me on birth control and told me that, told us that that would regulate it and things like that. So I took birth control for 2 years. When I was 17, I caught chickenpox and I got off of birth control because I was sick. I wasn't keeping up with it. And hell, I just was tired of taking it. And so I got off birth control when I was 17 because I got sick. After I was off of birth control for a while, my period still did not come back. They were still irregular. And at this point, I'm saying something is wrong because at this point, I'm 17. I've had a period for 6 years. And it's like, it should be regular by now. So I'm like, Mom, something is wrong with me. My period's not coming or whatever. Mom thought I was pregnant. Child, she wasted brain cells on that one. And so we went back to the gynecologist. They took blood, stuff like that. Oh, it's just the way her body is. This is just the way her period is. Not true at all. When I got about 20 years old, I changed gynecologists. I went to a private gyno, Dr. Brooks. I will never forget him. And he, with them slippery damn church shoes he used to be running around in, I went to him, listen, my period is tripping. I'm not having it. What is wrong with me? I was sexually active. I wasn't getting pregnant. Not that I was trying to get pregnant, but I was not getting pregnant. We weren't using protection. I'm like, something is wrong with me. He took some blood work. Oh, everything came back normal. Everything is everything. I'm like, everything can't be everything. So because I persisted, he put me on Provera. You take it 5 days or is it 10 days, then your period comes. I did that for a couple of cycles, and Provera periods are horrible. And we could not keep doing that. So I got fed up with him. I didn't like him as a gynecologist, and I changed to not even a new gynecologist. I had to change my primary care physician because my insurance with my job had changed. And you go to your initial appointment and they're getting the background on you. She said, well, when was your last period? I said, I don't know. I honestly can't tell you. And she was like, what do you mean? I said, I have irregular periods. It just shows up when it wants to show up. So I honestly can't tell you when I've had one. I don't keep up with it. Are you sexually active? Yes, I am. And you're not keeping up with your periods? No, I'm not, because they don't come, or whatever. So she listened to me and she said, I really think you have something called polycystic ovarian syndrome. I'm like, what the hell is that? She said, we're going to do some blood work and blah, blah, blah. We did work. That was on a Monday. We did blood work, and she personally called me that Wednesday and said, you have polycystic ovarian syndrome. This is why your periods are the way they are. This is why you're not getting pregnant, even though you're not trying. She just ran it down for me, gave me some information about it, and sent me to an endocrinologist. Went to the endocrinologist. They did the same blood work. They did ultrasounds of my ovaries. Lo and behold, there was polycystic ovarian syndrome. So I went on metformin. All that's irrelevant. We're going to speed up the story. I got into my mid-20s. I got in a relationship. After a very bad breakup, I got in a relationship. We were getting older. He had children. I had one. I had one child, and you will understand my one later. I had one child by then. And we were getting older, and I wanted to have a baby. So we weren't married, but we had been together like 7 years, and so we agreed, even though we're not necessarily getting married, we can do this for you, so you can have a baby. He was a good guy. He was a great dad. So, hey, it's a win-win for me. So we go through the procedures. You have to go in for counseling and all this other stuff. You guys, when I say they have been in my fallopian tubes, in my ovaries, in my butt, in my ears, they go in every hole possible. They do every blood test, urine collection, you name it, they do it. He didn't have to go through all that because he had children. So it was just, me going through it and him there to support me. Well, we went through all that. We got to the end where I was about to be prescribed Clomidate. And they told us about Clomidate and the possibility of twins and all this other stuff. And we got to that point, like literally calling the insurance to say, how much do you cover, because insurances were funny back then about fertility drugs. And he bailed out. He bailed out. So now I'm stuck with, I spent 7 years of my life with this man. I went through all these humiliating procedures. Ultrasounds up the wazoo. I should be able to pop popcorn in my hand. And you bail out. I can't tell you how much money I spent trying to get pregnant. And for him to bail out was totally devastating. I was heartbroken. I was depressed. I felt worthless. Every dark emotion you can name, I felt it. Because all of my hope was hinged on him. So once I got myself together, I'm like, I go to a fertility clinic and I don't need you. Boy, I need some DNA. That's all I need. So I started to investigate that. Well, around the time I was investigating that, I started to have pains. And I'm like, what is this pain? And I blew it off for a while, assuming that it was just ovarian cyst popping. You have the cyst that will twist, and that is the most painful. Woo! An ovarian cyst that twists is horrible. Most women lose their ovaries. I didn't lose mine. I started to have this pain. It was right after my 25th or 26th birthday. I will never forget it. It was cramping and it wouldn't go away. It wouldn't stop. Nothing I was doing was stopping it. My birthday is July 24th. I waited until you take the baths, you do what you do because you're a girl, whatever, it's cramps. But it just kept coming, kept coming, kept coming. I got up and I went to the emergency room on August 2nd. And I said, something is wrong. I am hurting. It won't go away. It won't stop. None of that. They did their exams, did their blood, whatever. Oh, you have a cyst that has twisted. Okay, so from there, the pain turned into pressure. Long story short, about 5 years later, let's say I was 25. So yeah, about 5 years later, I was diagnosed with endometriosis. Did you hear what I said? Endometriosis. What does that mean? I have polycystic ovarian syndrome and now I have endometriosis. I am now 29 years old. The doctor looked at me and said, If you want to have a baby, you need to start trying now because time is against you. She was honest. This was a new gynecologist. I loved her. She was honest. She was like, listen, you've been dealt a bad hand and time is not your friend. So I started exploring fertility and sperm bank, 29 years old. Fertility and sperm banks and all this other stuff. And I got to a point where I was tired. I was tired of the testing, the blood, the this, the that. And I had to say within myself, does my ability to have a child change who I am? And to a certain extent, it does. It's a blow. As a woman, I should be able to conceive without even thinking. That is part of the reason why I am a woman. Because I am the portal of life. So I should be able to get pregnant with no thought. Just lay down, open your legs, screw, you're pregnant. So it changed me. It made me feel useless. The one basic thing that I should be able to do, I can't do. I spent all those years taking birth control for nothing. I spent all those years testing and money spent, broken heart, destroyed relationship for nothing. But remember, I said I had a daughter. When I was 17, I had a daughter. I did not birth her. She's not mine biologically, but legally, financially, emotionally, make my hair fall out, drive me crazy, she's mine. I was there when she plopped out. She's mine. So I had to look at my life and decide, was I going to let this thing destroy me, or was I going to let it make me better, make me stronger? Do I still feel the pains of infertility? Yeah. And I'm 4 kids into the game now. I have 4 children, 3 daughters and a son. He passed away. I have a baby girl at home who's 14 who drives me crazy. You could not convince me I wouldn't have Barack Obama's baby, because my 14-year-old drive me crazy. So while I do feel like I was robbed. I was robbed of something so basic to women. But on the other side of that, I look at my kids and I'm like, God, oh my God. When my daughter was born, I didn't know love like that existed. I didn't know you could love another human being to the point where it consumes you, it compels you. I cannot explain the love I had when my daughter was born. And then when my other children from my relationship came into my life, sometimes I listen to my baby girl. She's talking and saying her little teenage things. And I'm like, I have to look at her again. Because it's like she's saying things that I said. You know what I'm saying? She's acting in a way that I acted. Some of it is just her being a 14-year-old girl. And some of it is she was created just for me. So when you're dealing with infertility, it's horrible. Don't think that I'm some superwoman. Hell no. It hurts. And I'm 4 kids in the game. And I have my moments where I'm like, damn, I didn't even have an option to get on the playing field. I wasn't even invited. I couldn't even buy a ticket to the game. Damn, that's not fair. I was a good girl. I wasn't perfect, but I was a good girl. I can count the number of people I've laid down with on one hand. I was a good girl. No STDs, no none of that. But I'm infertile. Always have been, always will be. I was born that way. So you have to, infertility is a hard pill to swallow. It is a daily grieving process. I have my days, especially when I have a period and it hurts. And I'm like, what the hell am I still letting this go on for? You know, I'm suffering for what? I ain't have no damn babies. I was never allowed. I was never given the option. But on the other side of that, I got my girls. And I look at my girls. They drive me crazy, but I love my girls. And I cannot imagine life without those three girls. My life unfolded in a different way than what I had planned. I had it all wrote down and all wrote out. And I can promise you, what I envisioned is not my reality by no stretch of the imagination. I battle chronic illnesses. My career has suffered. And I've never been pregnant. Never had a baby. Never was in the game. But I got my three girls. They get on my damn nerves. But I cannot imagine life without my girls. So what do you do when you have a useless uterus? When you've done all you can. You've prayed all you can pray. You've trusted God all you can trust. And you just tired. And the time and the clock is against you. What do you do? I can't tell you what to do, but I can tell you what I did. I embraced it. It is what it is. I love my life. I love my children. I'm grateful for my children because there are many women like me who don't have children. If I die today, my children will be well taken care of. They're mine. They're mine. Doesn't matter that they didn't come out my cooch. Legally, financially, they're mine. Except for my very oldest. They're mine. Financially, she's mine. Emotionally, she's mine. They're my children. I embraced it. I embraced infertility. It is a part of who I am. For whatever reason, my body did something crazy and it took me out of the game. I have grieved. I have cried. I have went to the medical world. I have went to the spiritual world. I have done everything I can do. But I got to a point where I said, enough is enough. I'm going to embrace this and I'm going to live. I can't let it destroy me. I got a child already I got to live for. And down the line, I got three more. Legally, financially, emotionally, they're mine. That's what I did for infertility. That's how I survive every day, knowing that I'm barren. Not even infertile, I'm barren. Knowing that my uterus is useless. This is how I survive every day. I get up, I look at my daughter, who I have one left at home. The other one's in Michigan in college. She's about to get married. I'm devastated, but hey, he's a good guy. And the other one has gone into her career and is living in her own apartment. We got one at home. I look at my baby every day. She get on my nerves. She drive me crazy. But I look at my baby every day and I say, thank you, God. Because even though my womb, my uterus is useless, I ain't all the way out the game. Because I got three people calling me mama every day. That's how I survive infertility. I embraced it and I allowed my life to unfold as it was planned. Sometimes we can have something planned in our mind and it's totally different from the path that you will end up on. Don't let infertility destroy you. Don't let it, it's a part, it may be a part of your life, and it's a difficult part of your life, but don't let it destroy you. Embrace it, do what you can, and when you've done all you can, rise above it. Thanks for watching, guys. Remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. And as always, be amazing. Bye.